Good afternoon and welcome to the program Moment, broadcast on Star Television, the power of communication. We're coming live from our Media One Center at Boma Street, Brookfields in Freetown. Today, we've got breaking news and I'm right downtown, and I'm in the office of the Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission in Sierra Leone, Francis Ben Kelfala. Good afternoon and welcome to the program Moment.
Good afternoon, Bill. It's always a pleasure to have you with us at the ACC.
I know it's always a pleasure, but you've been going through rough times, sleepless night, because the job you've assumed, or the office you've assumed, has taken a lot from you. True or false?
Yes, it's quite a tasking job. It takes a lot, but I take it as a national sacrifice. In those days, young men used to go and join service and serve their country before they do things for themselves. We are not doing that anymore, so I take it as my own time where I'm giving to the country what I should.
So, what is circulating around now in social media and also around town is the talk about the re-arrest of former NASIT employee, Jibril Sako. Could you just share the story with yours?
Yes, as the public knows and as you are aware, there was a contract involving NASIT in 2007, 2008, coming up in 2009, where they bought some ferries and the procurement for those ferries turned out to have been done improperly. And the commissioners before me, and it even started with Mr. Tijako, but it went on to Joseph Kamara. He negotiated with them that each of them should pay 500 million in settlement of the claims against them. At the time, they paid 200 million each. But after that payment, until I came in, and that covers the period when Mr. Kamara was here, when Adi Macaulay was here, they had not made any other payments. And we are talking about a period of about 5-6 years. So, when I came in as commissioner, of course, as I had promised the people of Sierra Leone, I carried out a thorough review of major files that were being handled in the commission. And one of the files that was reviewed was that file. Upon carrying out the review, I found out the anomaly that they had not been paying as they had agreed to pay. And certainly it was not to take that long. So at that time we called all of them in, from Edmond Roma to Mr. Ba to Jibril Sako to Mahmoud Idris. They all came in and we made them recommit to paying this amount within 1 year in periodic installments. Every other person has been satisfying the conditions that they said they would, but Mr. Sako has not. He has neither committed nor paid. In fact, Mr. Mahmoud Idris has completed payment of 300 million, so he has paid the full 500 million. Mr. Ba, though he is not in the country, has been sending periodic payments to the ACC. Mr. Edmond Kroma put a standing order on his account. So every month, without speaking to us, there is a transfer to the ACC of 25 million, which we are happy with. But Mr. Sako's case has been very peculiar, and he has not only refused to pay, but he has come up with certain objections which makes us see that what he's doing is in contravention of that agreement which I didn't negotiate with him.
So what are these objections he has come up with?
For now they are under confidentiality. We'll bring them out as time goes. But clearly he's showing a penchant not to want to pay. And he's saying that he ought not to have been investigated in the first place.
Why?
In fact, his lawyers have gone ahead and even filed papers in the Supreme Court challenging the powers of the ACC to investigate him. So, saying that and considering that we are entering into several settlements with people, we see this coming some 7-8 years after as a kind of repudiation of his undertaking to the ACC, and therefore we have rearrested him so that we can reinvestigate the case, so that we can come out with the facts to see what specific role he played so that we can be able to determine whether in fact the objections have basis or they don't. Initially, we just wanted to proceed on the basis of continuity. One commissioner had negotiated, even though the country was very unhappy with the negotiation, even though people have been raising issues about it. When I came in, I said, no, if this is what Joseph Kabara did in his wisdom, and I am succeeding him as commissioner, I have to go ahead with what he did. I called them to say pay, and you can go away. But if he is now raising objections 7 years later, 8 years later, with an agreement which I didn't take into, and which I did not know the fact, that is why we have arrested him, so that we can have time to now probe into his own role and determine what to do with his own special circumstances.
But did he undertake to make payments when you first contacted him?
Yes, he came and made a fresh undertaking. Although he made several objections at the time, in all fairness to him, he did undertake to pay.
Why this sudden change?
I don't know, maybe he was advised by his lawyers not to pay. And we, as a commission, are very serious with our commitments to the people of Sierra Leone. If you decide to voluntarily, let the public know that settlements that take place at the ACC, you will voluntarily decide to pay. Our mandate is to charge you to come. But you can come and say, I want to pay this money. And because we want to balance recovery and also to save the time and resources it takes to prosecute in court when the courts are already overburdened, we can sometimes accommodate settlement. But when you enter into a settlement and you go against that settlement, we will come after you with all the powers we have as a commission.
All right, let's leave Jibril Sakov's case now, and let's look at the ACC. A little over 7, close to 9 years now since you've assumed office.
Yes.
What are the updates? What are the impacts you've made on the institution?
Well, there are two aspects to this. Within the country, firstly, the commission itself has been reformed. The human resource capacity has been broadened. The human satisfaction of the workers we are working on, making it better, but the motivation among the staff is very high. We have continued to create more impact and to really reposition this country at this commission at the center of the social reformation that is taking place under the president, the hard-working President Bill, who appointed me to come and lead the staff here. And a lot is changing. On the national front, as you know, cases are moving faster. More investigations are taking place. Since I came in, even yesterday, we had a conviction in Kenema. We have had 8 straight convictions, no appeal from the cases that have been in court, so we have a 100% conviction rate. We have recovered over 900 billion loans, and 8.4 billion of that amount has been handed over to the government, which the President, His Excellency, President Julius Maada Bio, has committed to build a state-of-the-art modern diagnostic hospital to serve the health of the people of Sierra Leone. We have continued recovery, and even today, you saw our press release saying that another person paid 100 million loans. There will be a press release coming out tomorrow for an additional 100 million loans to pay another person. And we are currently processing the payment of about 3 billion loans from another person. So we have a commitment from those who have committed to pay, because you have to separate recovery from those who commit to pay. Some person may commit to pay 3 billion euros, but only pay as an initial deposit 800 million or 1 billion euros. So whilst we have recovered 8 billion loans, 9 billion loans, whilst we have recovered 9 billion loans, the commitment for people to pay within the next 6 months is over 15 billion loans. So if you put that together, the ACC is poised to produce for the people of Sierra Leone in 1 year alone what the ACC has done as far as recovery is has done for the past 18 years. So in 1 year, we are going to do what the ACC has been doing for the past 18 years as far as recovery is concerned. But in addition to that, apart from that, based on the efforts we are putting in, the international indices are responding. For example, as you are aware, last year in 2018, the MSCCU Control of Corruption scorecard, we had 49%. It was a failing mark. The country was disappointed. This year, we passed it by 71%. Also, Afrobarometer, corruption perception, how people believe the country was corrupt, it was as high as 70%. This year, it has dropped to 40%, to 43%. Also, the Transparency International, you know, they give rankings of countries as per how they are corrupt. This year is one of the most gloomy of them all. In the entire world, 113 countries dropped. 113 countries dropped in their scores and position. Sierra Leone did not only maintain its position, but it went up by one stage. We moved from 130 to 129. As you also know, the IGR, the Institute for Governance Reform, put out a report 2 days ago, where it stated that the reforms that have been introduced in the ACC in the past 6 months have greatly improved on the fight against corruption. They said that because we have deployed prosecutors in the provinces, it has made cases to be moving faster in the provinces, because before they had to come to Freetown, before decision is taken in Freetown, before they can be prosecuted, sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 years for that to happen. Now that can happen within 3 days. And it has also said that the asset information regime, we have reformed it, and that also is helping a lot in cleaning up the system for the fight against corruption. It has also stated that because the ACC has struck a deal with the judiciary for the judiciary to assign special prosecutors, special judges for corruption. Those special judges are making corruption cases not to queue up behind all the thousands of land cases, the thousands of other civil and criminal cases in court, but they are now before the special judges, and things are moving faster. So, Mr. Weje, I can go on and on the gains we are making as a country. As it stands, we are winning. We are winning huge. But we at the ACC, we are not allowing that to get to us. We are continuing to fight as if we are losing, but we are winning. Because it is when you are winning that you should even fight better.
I think there was a report on the police in Sierra Leone that was out, and it was sent to you. Did you get that report?
On the police?
I think they did some survey that was carried out.
No, the police, who are really great partners for us, they are supporting our work, have been consistently ranked in almost all indices as the most corrupt in the country. The police are aware of this. When I took over as commissioner, the Inspector General of Police called a meeting where we sat down, all of us, and discussed these issues, and they committed to doing reforms to change this. They are working very hard to do it. We have to understand that the police is really broad. Firstly, they interface more with the people, unlike the military, for example. So they are the ones the people meet every day. There is traffic police everywhere. People have issues to go to the police station for everywhere. So it's easy for them to claim that the police is more corrupt. And also, when the people are doing this, they do not differentiate between the traffic police, who are known to be corrupt, and the normal police, who are mostly in their offices doing hard work on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. And I can tell you that some of them are really disciplined and they are doing their work with integrity. But because they are still, there is the traffic police and some section who interface with the public, and those are really the ones who are causing problems for the police. They have this blanket labeling that the police are corrupt. However, we as a commission understand these ramifications, and we are working with the police to see what reforms we can introduce to change these dynamics and to make the police to be the force of good that they ought to be in society.
So how cordial is the relationship between your office and the police?
Extremely cordial. In fact, the Inspector General of Police calls me my brother, I call him Big Brother. There has never been a time when the ACC has called on the police to say, we want to go and arrest X person, we need this kind of support. They have not provided. Even my security is provided by the police and some sections of the army. So the relationship between us is very good. They are providing a lot of support to what we do. They are providing security support whenever we call them that there is a threat. Even now when you were coming up, we saw police officers down outside the ACC office because there were recent threats from some section of society that they have to burn down the ACC because they are unhappy with the good work we are doing. So the police are really one of our strongest partners, and there are other partners we are working in, but I am very happy with the relationship we have with the police. I will continue working with them to make sure that we clean up this kind of labeling that they have in society, and we all work together for the good of the country.
When you talk about threat of bombing the ACC office, are you not afraid?
That's an interesting question. I think we started this and I told you that I see this as a sacrifice for this country. You see, Mr. Weja, this country has suffered a lot. And I truly believe that when the president of all the people in the country appointed me to come here, he saw that I could work with him to make a difference for the people of Sierra Leone. I am not a slave to fear. I am not going to allow fear to stand in the way of the good I can do for the people of Sierra Leone. If the good work we are doing, if all these things I am explaining, which you are hearing, which the Sierra Leoneans are hearing, which they know about, some other people are unhappy about it and they think that I should be the target for it, then so be it. I believe that ultimate security comes from God. The state has done very well in reinforcing my security. I am one of the most guarded persons in the country. But at the end of the day, the real security lies with God, and I believe in God. I am doing this as a sacrifice for my country. I am doing this to showcase to the people of Sierra Leone that it can be done. When this institution was conceived under President Jan Kaba by the donors saying that the ACC should be established and it was supposed to do this mandate, they had an idea in mind. They had a vision in mind. They knew that this institution, if it works better, it can make Sierra Leone a better place. If I am here now, it is my duty, I think it's a calling of God, that I should do this for the country to see that it can be done. And that is why I am doing this evangelically. I am not going to allow fear to stand in the way of me, and I can tell all those who think that they can come after me, I am not afraid. No, at all. When I lie down at night, I sleep like a baby. I wake up in the morning ready to do it all over again. I don't wake up in the morning thinking in my mind that I want to go behind Mr. X because he belongs to X party. I want to go to Mr. X because he belongs to this tribe. I want to go after Mr. X because he's not my friend. No. Every investigation in the ACC, we look at the facts, we look at the evidence, we look at what is your role. And that is what you come to answer for. And we do it with absolute fairness. With absolute fairness. If anybody thinks that I have ever invited, or the people and the hardworking men and women who work in the commission have invited somebody and there's no evidence, let them come. I will show them the evidence we have against them. If they have their lawyers, they come. I operate a complete open door policy. You come today, you say you want to see the commissioner, you come. You raise your issues, I show you what we have. But what I can tell you, Mr. Weja, is this. The president of this country is a man who means good for this country. It is that reason that he appointed somebody like me to come and work with the hard-working men and women at the ACC for us together to transform this country into the country that it was supposed to be when it gave independence in 1961. We are going to play that role fearlessly, and we hope God will be with us and the people support us in what we do.
How religious are you?
I am a devout Roman Catholic, and in my own feelings as a human being and somebody who is of the world, I try as best to keep the commandments of God and to live fairly with my fellow man and to be prayerful where I can.
Is the job affecting your family life?
Yes. Particularly when it comes to access and time. I don't have the time that ordinary young men or even a family man will have. Sometimes I am in the office very late, I go home very late, Even when I go home, I have meetings at home. I am sometimes tired and I have to sleep, so you really don't have the time to interact with your family as you used to or as you should. Generally, that is taking a little bit of toll on my family, but I've always taken time to let them understand that this is a sacrifice that we all are making, not only me, for us to see that the country is good for everybody. I believe that we are doing this for the welfare of all, and I am not too worried about how they react to who I am today. I'm sure down the line they will understand why I do what I do.
The ACC has been in existence like something over 18 years. And now, you've just been in office like close to about 9 months, and you're talking of retrieving or recovering money from defaulters out to the tune of, how many billions again?
Actually, what we have collected is about 9 billion euros, but what is committed to be collected already is over 15 billion euros.
So, tell us, how did it look like 18 years ago when the ACC was established?
I think the circumstances were different. I am working under probably a different atmosphere. We are working with a president who loves and believes in the country and wants it really to become different from what it used to be. Maybe the commissioners before me had a different focus. Their focus was not really recovery. They had other things that were their priority. Institutions like these are driven by the vision and drive of who sits at the top. It's just like the country itself. The reason why everybody is talking anti-corruption right now is because the president is speaking anti-corruption. So it's the same thing happening. So I came in with a vigor and drive to balance prosecution and recovery. So I don't believe finding people guilty and sending them to prison is going to bring any much good to Sierra Leone. Yes, it will. Certain people deserve to be in prison. But we have to balance doing that and also going after the monies that they steal, the monies that they take away from the people of Sierra Leone. If not, they can go to prison and spend 2 years, 3 years and come out and they live happily, ever happily after with those monies. But if we are capable of taking those monies from them, and we are capable of punishing those we can, we balance it so that people can know that being corrupt is a very risky enterprise. Being corrupt is not a gainful enterprise. We can make you bankrupt, we can make you go to prison. If we balance those well, this country is going to be different within the next, it's not even within the next 5 years, within the next 2 years. And a lot is happening already. As I have told you, the IGR put out a report yesterday to tell you that what we are doing currently is having a positive reverberation within the population, and they are already reacting. Somebody was with me here today, he said she went to clear her car at Motaki. She gave them money, they said, no, we don't want your money, go with it. Some other people are coming here to say we are going through the airport. Before when we come to the airport, everybody is asking us for money. But we have come and nobody is asking us for money. People are going to government offices and people are delivering services to them without asking for money. These are the positives that are happening. We are getting this feedback, we are gauging them, and they are helping the perception in the country to drop. I have told you, it has dropped from 70% to 43%. If we continue in this kind of trajectory, where everything is going positive for the country, trust me, within the next 2 years, Sierra Leone is going to be a different place to be. And we are working on it. And thank God we have the political will family behind us, and the team at the ACC are strongly energized, and they are working very hard to achieve this.
You talk about corruption. Don't you think, like in the States, if you drive an expensive car, the very first thing they do on you, they do a profile to see how much money you're making and how did you get that money to buy that vehicle. But in Sierra Leone, not seeing much being done in that area.
Well, generally we are looking into unexplained wealth. As you know, it's one of the offenses under the Anti-Corruption Act. But one of the reasons I particularly, together with the team at the ACC, we have not been looking into unexplained wealth much was because of the Commission of Inquiry. We left the aspect of unexplained wealth to be handled by the Commission of Inquiry. But it is strongly within our mandate. Once the Commission of Inquiry is over, whatsoever they leave out that they did not cover, we will pick it from there. But we had other things we were dealing with, and the Commission of Inquiry was coming up. We thought that there was going to be a lot of duplication if we start living into the lives of for example, past ministers, past heads of departments, past government officials, and the Commission of Inquiry comes to do the same thing. So I can assure you that it is firmly within our radar. In fact, instructions have been given to all investigators. When they are investigating, the last thing they should do is to ask whosoever they are investigating about his resources, source of finances and properties he owns, so that we can be able to look into it if need be. So it is firmly within our radar, and we are working on it, and I'm sure you will see charges coming in respect of that. But it is a very difficult thing to prove in a society like this.
What do you make of this story? Somebody who was spent 15 years in jail and was about to be released, and then the judge sentenced him. He was privy to meet with the judge again, and the judge asked him, "You are going back to community life. What would you like to do when you're out there?" He said, "I want to become a politician because I will still, it is legal for me."
Yes. Well, exactly this is what we want to change. Because impunity had become the bedrock of Sierra Leone. Since Sierra Leone gained independence, particularly after Minty Magai passed away and Abat Magai took over, and then Shaka Stephen took over, it became Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves affair. It is not the normal, it is not right, it is not correct, it should not exist. Public service should be about providing to the people services. You are a servant. He who serves is called a servant. So public service should have public servants, and that is what they are. But if they can steal and get away with it, they are not servants. It's only masters who can steal and get away with it. So what we are doing now, what the President of Sierra Leone is doing, when he has come with Commission of Inquiry, when he has empowered the ACC to be able to achieve his full mandate as a commission, when he is working with his team, signing performance contracts with ministers, to make sure that you can be held accountable for what you do, the President is trying to inject a renewed spirit in Sierra Leone. A country that is built on the pillars of accountability, of transparency, and reform. Therefore, he has made several pronouncements saying that if anyone steals in my government, I will swiftly remove you. If the Anti-Corruption Commission investigates you, I will swiftly remove you. Basically what is happening is we are dealing impunity a very heavy blow. We are making sure that such story as the one you have told is not correct. That children should not grow believing that that is correct. Corruption is everywhere in the world, but it should be the exception, not the rule. What we have had in Sierra Leone before now was that corruption was the rule. In fact, getting away with corruption was the rule. But now we are making corruption so expensive that you will be punished, and you will be punished every day. If you cannot be punished, we will render you bankrupt, so society sees that you were high and mighty and you are gone. And that is why people don't even understand the technique we are using. We are not only recovering, we are naming and shaming. And this is happening at a time when everybody in Sierra Leone is now seeing that corruption is an important thing. If you think it's a business as usual, and the Anti-Corruption can put out a press release that you stole 500 million euro from an office and you paid it back, and you think your life will go as normal, time will tell. But we know that what we are doing is having a positive impact, and the country is very happy with what we are doing. We are gauging the feedback, and then we'll get there. Impunity is no longer the rule, it's the exception. And if anybody does not believe, let them try it.
This huge money, some of these defaulters have been making payments to the ACC. What did they keep this money? Because these are the questions, question that the public is asking.
Some of them are kept in the banks. Everybody is still a capitalist society where you can keep money in the bank. What I do particularly, and part of my strategy, is that the moment we are investigating you for stealing money, we freeze your account so you cannot do it. So by the time we are doing settlement with you, we already know your financial circumstances. We already know what is kept. But at the end of the day, that is not even important to us. Because some people will keep money under their beds. Some people will keep it to their girlfriends to keep. Some will give to their wives to keep, but many will not give their wives because they don't even want to know how much their wives to know how much they have. So they will give it to their girlfriends to keep. We don't care. When you are held culpable, it matters not where you get it from, just bring it. We will take it as a commission as long as it makes you poor. And trust me, if even you are the wealthiest person on earth, if you take 1 billion euros in Sierra Leone and give back to the Anti-Corruption Commission, trust me, it will render you poor. And this is the message we are sending. It's not that we are happy to be recovering these amounts of money, but we want people to know that first of all, those who still have access to that kind of money, whilst the rest of the Sierra Leoneans cannot even have 1,000 euros a day. What we are doing is trying to connect the plight of Sierra Leoneans to what these people are doing. You are capable of paying 1.5 billion euros to the Sierra Leoneans to take care of his family. The ordinary man cannot have 100,000 euros to feed his family. Let the people see and hear for themselves, and they know that what we are doing is not a witch hunt. Let them understand that if they support us in what we are doing, it is only they who will benefit. Because, like I say, if what we have recovered, and we took this check of 8.4 billion euros and gave it to President Bio, and President Bio says, I am going to build hospital, there is never going to be a time when anybody is going to sit at the door of that hospital to say, what is your tribe? And you have to be a certain tribe before you enter into that hospital to be treated. There is never going to be a time when anybody is going to stand at the gate of that hospital to say, are you SLPP, APC, PMDC, or whatever political lineage you are, to enter into that. It will be identified as a Sierra Leonean endeavor. It will benefit the people of Sierra Leone. And that is the same thing. If what we are doing makes the system transparent and people are not stealing, what is supposed to benefit people reach them, there will be no need for us to come harassing us in offices for us to give them pittance. They will be able to have a decent livelihood. They will have to send their children to school so that they can come back and work hard and take care of them. They will be able to have access to good health facilities. They will be able to feed their families. They will have resources generally to live a decent life as area. As it stands, we all know that is not what is happening, and we are working hard to make sure that this country is put on the footing for us to achieve that.
Now, the commissions of inquiry have started, and we've just had like about 2 or 3 days since it started. And what are your views so far?
One of the really good things that is happening to Sierra Leone is the commission of inquiry. You see, people will not understand today because they are saying that some may believe that it is targeting a particular class of people, it is targeting a particular set of people. But what the commission of inquiry is doing is to create a cycle of accountability where when people are in governance today and they think that nothing can happen to them, tomorrow they will have to answer for their stewardship. We are doing the opposite of what we have been doing all these years when we leave our case to God and wait for Judgment Day. Now we want Judgment Day to happen here, but also first of all understand what happened on earth before we go to heaven to know what happens at the end of the day. We are taking our destinies into our own hands. We are making sure that people are accountable. One day down the line, you will come and say you were Minister of Health. What did you do with the money that was given to you for Ministry of Health? You are Minister of Education. How many children benefited from good projects which you introduced as Minister of Education? And that, by the way, is not to punish you. We can learn lessons from your experience that will inform the future generation that will inform policies that will be put in place in the future. And these, if we put all of them together, will make for a better Sierra Leone. The Commission of Inquiry is a great work. That is why we are giving it all our support. We are giving it the resources that we have. We are making sure that our staff are committed to make sure that it succeeds. We are making sure that whatsoever evidence we have, we are making it available to them for them to be able to succeed. Because what those 3 judges are doing on earth is what we have been living for God to do. But in fact, we could do something about it whilst we are here.
When you take a look at the job you do right now, you seem to be on top of a lot about corruption in terms of money stolen from the public kitty, on the race to win the war of corruption as declared by the president. Are you confident, satisfied that at the end of the day, corruption will be a thing of the past, or not totally eliminated, but at least the country will say, now things are moving in the right direction?
Yes, I believe that I have a 5-year mandate. Within 3 years of that 5-year mandate, we are going to achieve sufficient corruption control for the people of Sierra Leone to be able to appreciate that it can be done. We are already, within just 7 months of that, as you know, the country is already appreciating what this is. The results are coming in from the indices that I said earlier, the changes that are happening. We are winning. And winning is relative. At the end of the day, the question is going to be, what is the definition of winning? But what is happening in Sierra Leone is that we are truly working hard to make sure that we achieve corruption control so that corruption becomes the exception, not the rule. It is not an easy task. We rely on God and the people to support us, but we are confident at the Anti-Corruption Commission that we can achieve it, and we are going to achieve it together.
Mr. Ben Kalfala, head of the Anti-Corruption Commission in Sierra Leone, viewers are watching you right now, and maybe at this juncture, you might want to sound a cautionary note to them or an alarm bell.
Well, our people have suffered. They have been conditioned to believe that the lives they live is given by God. But I have to let them understand that the poverty they are suffering is man-made. This country is one of the richest countries on earth, in the world. There are resources in this country which other countries can only dream of. They can only see on the television, in movies. We have them there. This is a country where every part of the country is fertile. We don't have deserts. We don't have sandy soil that nothing can grow. It just depends on what you choose to plant, to grow. Yet, we are poor, we are beggarly, we are hungry. You have empty stomachs walking on fertile soil everywhere. This paradox is unacceptable. And I am telling the people of Sierra Leone that the reason why that is corruption, is maladministration. It is a conscious action by the people they have put their trust in to represent them, who have betrayed them from 1961, that this is happening. We have come with the promise that we are going to work hard to change that. The president has come with the promise that he's going to change that. He has committed his team of ministers to work to achieve that. All I can say to them is that we need them to join us. They have to join us. They have to be understanding. They have to be patient. Everything we are doing cannot produce results in one day. It cannot produce results even in 1 year. It is sacrificing today for tomorrow. That is what we are doing. And I am assuring them that down the line, down the years, they are going to see the actual result of what we are doing today. So let them be patient.
Thank you so much for being on the program today. The Anti-Corruption Boss Francis Ben Kirfala, and I'm sure viewers who watch the program will share some of what they learned, the lessons learned from the interview itself with you.
Thank you, Bill. You know I always like your interviews. In fact, you are the only person who comes to this office and interviews me in this office. So I'm very happy and grateful to you. You are helping us disseminate the message about the fight against corruption, and we believe that together we can make a difference for the people of Sierra Leone. Thank you.
I want to thank you all viewers out there, and remember, the only way to build a Sierra Leone, a healthy Sierra Leone, is by being patriotic. If you're not, well, we are not going to move as a nation. Individually, yes, we are going to move. Let's stop that right now and be patriotic. Any form of corruption within our society, bring it to the ACC, and they will listen to you and see how best they can treat your information. Please feel free to come to the ACC. Thank you so much for watching. Moment is back.